Hello! This is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. I finished Pluto.
Whoa!
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Pluto's incredible.
It's a really good show.
Like, come for the robot mystery, stay for the examination of the nature of hatred and grief.
Uh-huh. Hell yeah.
That drills down to your core. I'm not often emotionally affected by anime, but Pluto got me.
Uh-huh.
Also started Golden Kamuy
Yes.
again.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, I rewatched the first episode because it's been a while, and that show is really good, but the CGI bear they keep using does make me laugh out loud every time I see it.
I can. It did jump scare all of us, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
The first time
it's
we saw
really
it.
it's really good though.
It's really fucking funny.
How are you guys? You guys watch any anime?
I'm Blackle. I've been watching quite a bit of anime, actually. I can't remember if I told y'all I finished Turn A. Well, I finished Turn A.
Turn
I've been
A
watching
Gundam.
Train to the End of the World,
Ooh.
which is pretty good, actually. Apparently Kojima's watching it, which is
Nice.
That's nice.
And
Based-
I also
Genius
started
Kojumbo.
I also started watching Freerun.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And I like
Nice.
it so far.
Freerun's good.
And also my girlfriend has been watching a ton of Shangri-La Frontier, and I watched the first 3 episodes.
Oh yeah.
As a
What'd you
consequence
think?
of that. So I thought it was okay.
Mhm.
That's a
It's thankfully
supplemental
not a
opinion.
harem anime.
Yeah, that's
Even
one of
though
the upsides. It's like why I filed it away to bring it, because I knew it wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I think that's it as far as anime is concerned.
Full
Nice.
disclosure, I got that idea from Jeff Thu, who
Ah.
mentioned it
The killer?
as premium trash
The killer.
because he was simply so refreshed by its premise of just being man plays video game rather than an
It is
isekai.
man plays
Yeah.
video game. Apparently he talks like a total Redditor.
Yeah,
He's like
A little bit.
he's at one point he's like feels bad man, and then like literally one sentence later he's like, we're so #blessed.
yeah, he's awful, but in a funny way.
That's kind of charming.
Uh-huh.
I'm here for it. Hi, I'm Joey. Blackle's been watching all the anime this week, so I didn't watch
Yeah, I
any.
did all
The
of
end. Yeah, no, I've been up to shit all.
Jack and shit.
Yeah, no, I really do want to watch more Erased. I've just been busy. So, nothing for me.
Hey there. I've also watched nothing. It's me, Louis. Hi.
That was
Listen, so-
That was dangerously close to a hey, didn't see you there.
Hey.
Whoa.
Oh, hey there.
Hey. Didn't notice you.
Oh, well, what's this? No, I didn't watch shit. I've been playing a lot of MiHoYo games, and also as of like 8 hours ago, Hades 2, and I'm suffering withdrawals from it as we speak.
It
He
has
hasn't been playing
Louis-
for a full 10 minutes.
Louis,
He's
it
dying.
has been like 3 minutes.
It's bad. I haven't had dopamine in such a long time.
He needs it.
So yeah, you guys want some news? I have some
Yeah,
news
sure, why not?
that I've assembled. All right, let's start with some good old bitter old auteur bastard news, which is recently Asahi Shimbun interviewed Hideaki Anno, and he had some interesting shit to say.
Huh.
Let's see. They asked him whether he had a desire to create new visuals in any way, and he said, "I don't think so. Young people today don't want something new. I think they would rather maintain their peace of mind with something they've seen before than feel stressed by something that they haven't seen." I'm not in the, the interview followed up by asking him whether he was headed in that direction, and he said, "I'm not in the mainstream anymore, so it's fine if I do things on the fringes. Right now, it's mainly works based on jump titles and stuff like that."
Wow, fascinating.
I always love to hear from Hideaki because he's such a curmudgeonly old bastard.
Anime was a mistake.
Anime was a
It
mistake.
was a mistake.
They should have attributed that to Ano instead of Miyazaki, because Ano believes it.
Mhm.
But they also asked him about some other shit, like whether he wanted to make Evangelion sequels or if he wanted somebody else to make them. And he said, there may be something to that. The prospect of an Evangelion sequel made by someone other than myself could exist. I haven't decided yet, or rather, it's better for the work if there's a high degree of freedom. Whether it's commercially viable or interesting would depend on the content. It's not like I'm saying I'll never make another one again or anything like that.
Fascinating.
Though he did indicate that he probably wouldn't be continuing the Rebuild series.
Fair enough.
So, anyway, that's word from an old communist bastard.
I didn't know he was a communist.
Yeah, he's a member of the Japanese Communist Party. I don't know if he is anymore, but let's see. This is a pretty old story, but it came out just as we were recording the last episode.
All right.
But it's pretty funny. The illustrator for Kengan Ashura has recommended that overseas fans pursue scanlations rather than the official translations available on Amazon.
Whoa.
He apparently read through some of them and, having some small skill in English, determined that the ones made by fans were far superior than the translations he was getting from the official company. And furthermore, sort of inadvertently found out that they were generating them with AI.
That
Jeez.
doesn't surprise me in the least.
Just sort of barely editing them to be intelligible. So yeah, he was just like, no, you should get the pirated version. The official versions are shit. And okay, some good news, maybe just good news for me. But I'm going to need you that if you care about JJK manga spoilers to maybe shut your ears for a minute.
Oh, this is why you asked me.
Louis?
I'm pretty up to date.
Okay, because listen, God doesn't always curse me, because my boy is apparently back. Apparently, best character Toto has returned to JJK.
Yeah.
Now we just need to get need to get best girl back.
Yeah.
Not like he's never going to do.
Are you sure this is a good thing? Because now that he's back, there's a good chance he could die.
I mean, I suppose he could be killed, but you know what? He was basically dead for like 100 chapters, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was just gone.
He was safe.
He was safe.
We'll see what happens.
I'm looking at the panel right now, and his hand is predictably wrapped up, but it seems much larger than it ought to be, which makes me wonder what's going on underneath that bandage.
Doppelganger.
Doppelganger.
You're replaced with someone who's slightly larger hands. It's like a bigger Luke type situation.
Not bigger Luke.
So yeah. Did we picked something to watch, right? Right,
Yeah.
Bobby?
Yeah.
Right?
This is a recommendation from my girlfriend's friend.
Mm-hmm.
It is called Darker Than Black.
Oh.
From 2007.
We might have had that on our viewer suggested list.
I don't think so. We just checked it a minute ago, but that certainly does sound like some stank ass 2000s anime. So
yeah,
let's get to it.
Sounds familiar. Let's do it.
See how this is.
Chiaki. You guys have no idea how much trouble I went to find out the name of of one of the characters we spend most of this episode with. She is straight up not in the characters list in my anime list. She is not important.
Yeah.
Why do they do
That's
this?
not even what they call her in the show either.
What do they call her? Wait, what do you mean that's not what they call her in the show? Because that's her name. That's her whole fucking picture when the police are talking about it.
They call her something. They call her Haraguchi.
What do they call her? Who calls her that?
The granny.
Oh, fake name. Okay.
Yeah, his fake name.
I'm using Chiaki.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Anyhow.
So yeah, who wants this blurb?
No.
I'll do it. It has been 10 years since Heaven's Gate appeared in South America and Hell's Gate appeared in Japan, veiling the once familiar night sky with an oppressive skyscape. Their purposes unknown, these gates are spaces in which the very laws of physics are ignored. With the appearance of the gates emerge contractors, who, in exchange for their humanity, are granted supernatural abilities. In the Japanese city surrounding Hell's Gate, Section 4 Chief Misaki Kurihara finds herself at odds with an infamous contractor codenamed Hei. Hei?
Hey.
Called Black Reaper in the underground world. Hei, like his associates, undertakes missions for the mysterious and ruthless syndicate while slowly peeling back the dark layers, covering a nefarious plot that threatens the very existence of contractors. From the mind of Tensai Okamura comes a sci-fi thriller taking the form of a subtle expose on a war in which political positions and justice have no sway, a war waged exclusively in the shadows.
In the shadows.
Do-do-do-do.
The shadows darker than black.
Those shadows are so dark.
So,
whoa.
I
Whoa.
straight up didn't know this, that there's just a second place in South America.
Yeah, they didn't mention that in the episode.
If the two are connected, then the size of the area contained within
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
In that it stretches across the Pacific Ocean at least.
I assume they're like separate gates or separate areas.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I assumed it was different.
They made reference to the sky being fake.
Yeah, I assume that's like a dome over the city of fake sky is what I assumed.
But yeah, this show is rapidly leaving my mind, which is it's strange because it's not even like bad. But I think the search for Chiaki
destroyed you.
Could we maybe have an episode where we don't do a summary?
No.
God damn it.
But listen, we can loosen up the rules a little bit and talk about things as they come up.
Okay, good.
Because yeah, you don't have to sit here and listen to me talk exclusively for the whole time. But yeah, we open on a chase scene. A man in a green suit is running across the rooftops, and I didn't know if this was connected to the police below initially, but it quickly becomes apparent that they are chasing him.
They are chasing him.
Yeah, he's making some pretty risky leaps, and we find out why in a second, because they corner him on a rooftop, and while he's turning around to face them because they order him to, he something glints in his eyes, and one of the policemen just floats away.
Yeah, it's so scary. It's like, oh no.
And he flies off himself, and we cut to the most interesting character in the show, because there is a police detective in a car following along, and she's just like, shit, that's a contractor, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And clearly, there's some level of familiarity in law enforcement with this, because they're just like, oh, fuck, again, really? Okay,
Yeah.
what does he do? It's just like, oh, he flies?
Gravity
well,
negate.
Reverses gravity.
reverses
Yeah.
gravity. Yeah. Oh, check the fucking wind. Oh, that's where it is. Okay, send everybody east to cut him off. I'm just like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
She's clearly like in control here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something happens immediately afterwards that she couldn't even be prepared for, because when this guy lands on another rooftop, he thinks he's doing all right. And I don't know whether he's breaking his fingers or putting
Yeah,
them back.
No, he's breaking them.
But
Yeah.
from what I see, from what we see later, I'm inclined to believe that he has to break his fingers.
Yeah, no,
As, like,
what I'm
payment
getting
for his
is,
powers.
yeah, you do the
Uh,
thing and then you have to repay the
But
Debt.
debt.
but yeah, he just snaps two of them backwards, and it's really rough.
It's hard
Mhm.
to look at.
And while he's doing that, there's like a horrible little ghost watching him.
Yeah.
And a voice is just like, "Ooh, that's the price of your contract. That's really rough." And he's just like, "Holy shit, who are you? What's going on?" And
Holy shit,
a
a talking
man
horse.
in a stupid anime mask.
This, you can't overestimate how stupid this little mask is. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very dumb anime shit. And yeah, the guy they have a little conversation, but the guy doesn't even hesitate to deploy the gravity reversal on this guy. But the guy was just ready for it, because he's got a wire in his pocket with a weight on the end, and he throws one end to the railing to secure himself, and he throws the other end around the guy's neck.
Mm-hmm.
He just starts pulling.
Yep.
So clearly he has this guy. He has this guy's number. And we cut back and forth to the police chase, and they're just like, where the fuck did he go? What's going
What's
on?
going on?
Yeah, this guy's interrogating him, and he's just like, wait a second. If you kill me, you'll never find the shit. And he's just like, oh yeah. He's just like, where did you leave it? It's just like, well, I left it with a woman. And it's just like, well, and if I'm not with you, she won't come and get it. And he's just like, oh, you little motherfucker. And he picks him up by his face, while somebody over his earbud, I guess, or in communication with him, is just like, no, wait, hey,
Like,
wait a
we
second.
need him. Stop
We
it.
need that guy. There's also a girl involved somewhere who's, I believe, is referred to as like an observer doll or something, who may have been the source of the horrible little ghost earlier.
Yeah,
We
there's a
know
lot
almost
we
nothing
have yet
about
to
her.
learn
And
that
we
is
won't.
simply not revealed in episode 1.
Yeah. So
If only
so
this
yeah,
was the 3-episode rule.
well, funnily enough, what do you think we're named after?
Yeah.
But yeah. And the next scene is the police investigating this.
Mhm.
Because yeah, they found him fully dead on the rooftop.
Yeah, he
And they're
didn't
just like,
make it.
this is a bunch of shit. And we follow them back to headquarters, where they just have a debriefing about it. Which basically boils down to, it's just like, oh shit, well, this guy worked for the French consulate. Like,
Yeah,
why?
code name Louis.
Code name Louis.
I don't want to talk about it.
Did you get jump scared?
They've already denied involvement. What it's just like, well, what was he after? Or what did he have? And it's like, well, he had classified information leaked from scientists studying the wall. And they talk about the wall here, and I didn't notice it for the longest time because it takes up so much of the horizon. But they finally showed a shot where you could see the top of it where it's broken, and it's just like, oh
Yes.
shit,
it's a thing.
it's big.
Yeah.
It's
I actually really liked
reflective,
this scene because it was very like SCP core.
I like the scene where it's during the day and you're looking at the wall and you realize it's reflective. So it just looks like the sky. But they're talking about it, it's just like, yeah, he apparently got this from an inside contact. This scientist, Chiaki, I forget her last name, but who apparently majored in studying it, and they're just like, oh shit, that's not good. That's a national security risk. We can't be having that. It's just like, well, who do we think killed him? It's just like, oh, well, this, and then they start talking about the stars like they're important.
Yeah,
That is really
Seems-
intriguing.
Apparently, the only movement was oh, and they mentioned it during the chase. There was a shooting star as well.
it seems
Yeah.
like the stars are somehow connected with the contractors.
Maybe.
Mhm.
Is the implication that I got, at least.
I think that's what really nails it in the coffin for being really SCP core, is that I can think of like a couple SCPs where like the motions of the stars are like important for the containment of a certain item or something like that.
But yeah, they're just like the only stars that are active aligned to the to an unidentified contractor. That's like BLK 21 or something like that.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, black. I see.
Yeah, darker than black. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
BLT 499.
They're just like, oh, this motherfucker. Everything he's involved with is shit. Nobody's solved any of it. It's like we don't even have a cause of. We don't even have a cause of death on this guy. He didn't asphyxiate. There's no chemicals in his blood. He's just dead.
He's dead, Jim.
And they all get good and spooked about it, except Detective Lady, who's just like, can we do our fucking jobs? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I like you. You're good.
Yeah, she's good.
This I would definitely be more interested in this series if it was mostly about you investigating this. But I feel like it's not going to be that way.
Yeah.
So yeah. After that, what's the next one?
We gotta see Bro going to his new apartment, and I think
Yeah,
is the next scene.
We're gonna hang out with Shen, and we have some funny moments here. Shen shows up to an appointment with this lady. Sees an anime black man. And I looked at him and I
Does
said,
not talk to him. Yes.
I was like, he looks normal at least.
Yeah, he looks normal. This is fine.
But yeah, it's like notable. And he's just like, because they both sort of they both clearly see each other and are unnerved by it. He and yeah, he shows up at his new apartment complex. I think he previously encountered the lady that's gonna be his landlady.
Yeah, maybe.
Because she, first of all, she doesn't know who she is, and she's just like what are you recruiting for a cult? Not interested. And she's just like, no. It's just like, are you that fucking tombstone salesman? I already told you.
I'll call you when I need one.
I'll call you when I need one.
I don't even know if he met her before. I think she's just a little old and senile. She's very funny though.
Oh no, because she brings up about the electronics. Well, yeah, you know, she might have mistaken him for a guy at the electronics.
I think she's just like, yeah, I called for a TV guy, and you must be that guy. I think he was just like, sure, I'll try something.
He's trying to talk about the realty office down by the train station, and she's like, "Oh, the electronics place. Yeah, you must be here about the TV." And she like makes him look at her TV, which is clearly like fucked up. In ways that digital TV shouldn't be.
Yeah, he gives it a good smack, and like sparks come out of his hand, which I think is a hint, maybe to something that he can do.
A little bit magical.
I don't know. I don't know whether he did that on purpose or if he has some sort of aura to just fuck things up.
I do like the idea of him being like the super powerful, like fucking like self-insert character of this show, and then he just does that by accident.
Yeah. I was just alarmed by the amount of smoke that came out. But he did fix the screen.
He did.
Yeah, he finally gets it through her head. It's just like, hey, I'm trying to move into the apartment upstairs. Yeah, they talk about it, and it's just like, oh yeah, you're Li Shen, right? It's just like, what are you, Chinese? It's just like, yeah, and she's just like, that's cool, man.
Yep.
Culture shock's a bitch.
I can't remember your name for shit.
Don't make trouble for your neighbors. It's like, okay, it's just like, I'll call you Lee-san. And then as they're opening up the apartment, a woman comes out next door, a ginger lady, who is dressed like the most she's one of the most suspicious anime women I've ever seen. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
She's got like a full like puffer jacket and
Yeah.
sunglasses and like a scarf. She's dressed like she's trying to like blend into a crowd at a train station in a 60s thriller. It's absurd.
She's just like a weird, like otherworldly, like doppelganger from a Junji Ito novel.
Like she's dressed like Katharine Hepburn if she was famous in 2003. But yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, here's your neighbor Haraguchi-san, and I'm just, which also I didn't think to look for. I looked up her name in the fucking dossier scene, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going by some sort of code name
Yes.
or
probably a
different
fake
name. Probably.
Probably ran into this place under a fake name.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not very friendly. And
Nah,
does
she just
leave,
kind of ignores.
immediately.
Yeah.
After Shen waves, and the old lady's just like, "Don't try too hard to be friendly." It's just like, oh yeah. After that is.
Wait, hold on. Did y'all watch the sub or the dub?
I watched the subs.
Watched the dub.
Okay, I watched the dub. Okay.
We'll
different
get into
timelines here. All right.
We'll get into it.
I usually prefer subs, but
I have a hard time.
Normally we synchronize, but I guess
yeah.
but
we're having a little bit of a loosey goosey episode, which I think is fine. I prefer them to be a little loosey goosey.
Don't tell me about your ghosts. But
whoa.
Well,
anyway, he has to check out the apartment. And this really made an impression on me because I looked at this apartment and it reminded me of like a couple of other dozen apartments I'd seen in Japanese media. And my first thought is just like, this place is haunted as shit. Like some fucking Ringu shit is gonna happen to this man.
Yeah.
It's like cramped in a specific way, and there's like a weird like humidity on the walls that you can see. There's like just the faintest bit of like green mold.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they're gonna find there's gonna be nothing left of this man but his jaw.
No,
the realtor finds it.
Here's the thing. This place is going to be haunted, but he will be the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is the one that is going to be cursing this place. Mm-hmm. You understand?
He's gonna go Danny Phantom on us.
We haven't talked about it because it hasn't come up this often, but Lee-san doesn't have any pupils. He has these fucking dull, dead, dark eyes, and they freak me out.
I mean, yeah, he
almost doesn't even have like any eye reflectivity either.
Yeah,
the man has the eyes of a corpse.
He's got something going on.
I don't like it. But and I compared him against like other known power people, and they had normalized. So he's even fucking. It's unique to him. But
yeah.
But anyway, what's the next scene? Is it next scene where they go to the host club?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because it's the contrast the way she acts. Because Haraguchi-san or Chiaki is currently a hostess.
Mm-hmm.
And she's doing the hostess club thing, which I'm not going to get into because it's very complicated. But she and another hostess are sitting with two gentlemen. One of them really very buttoned up and sort of stiff, and the other's sort of naturally affable in the scene. And they're talking about it. It's just like, well, what do you? It's just like it'll be my birthday next time. You two got to promise to come back. And it's just like, oh yeah, of course. It's just like, what do you guys do anyway? It's just like, what are you, loan sharks, land sharks? And he's just like, it's more respectable than that. And the guy across the buttoned up one is just like, we're civil servants.
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Oh, come on! The only civil servants with faces that rugged are detectives, right?" And they finish their drinks, and the manager comes around and just be like, "It's time for rotation, sirs." Just like, "Oh, goodbye," and they walk off, and they're clearly just sitting there, just like, man, I don't know if this was the best course of action. It's like, well, it's definitely her because they're cops and they're looking for Chiaki. She makes a much different impression in person, though, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And as they say this, Chiaki herself is walking back behind the bar, and she stops to talk with clearly like the floor manager. Real great, like I love an obsquicious little fucker. You can tell just by like appearance. He's got this awful little pencil mustache.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like, I know you. And she stops to talk to him and starts to slip out the back. So the detectives are just like, oh shit, and they jump up, and about a half dozen waiters show up, and they're just like, hey, it wouldn't be appropriate to act like a stalker to one of our girls, would it? Because she clearly told that guy that they were creeps.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
He's like, we're gonna call the cops on you. And he's like, I am the cops.
Yeah. The stiff guy is just like, I've had enough of this bullshit. And he just starts waving his badge around. He's like, I am the cops. Let me through. And they have a little chase.
Mm-hmm.
This takes up so much of the episode. But yeah, they're chasing her through the streets. It's actually surprisingly tense. And after a while, she makes her way into like a small public park, and she runs into somebody with a telescope set up. And it's Shen from before. And she sort of like doesn't know what to do about the situation. He's just like, oh shit, are you being chased? Come over here. And he wraps his jacket around her. And pushes her up against the tree, and as the detectives pass by, they do the traditional, just like, oh, it's just two people making out in the park thing.
He does. Yeah, he does kiss her to like hide her. Like,
yeah, it works. Like it takes longer than it should, but it works. And then
feels like a very calculated choice on his part.
I don't know, but I don't know anything about him. He's a fucking homunculus. I see no inner life in that man.
No, I'm saying I think he is trying to get her to trust him because he wants what she has.
Maybe,
He knows.
I don't know what's going on right now, but anyway, as he pulls away from her, he's just like, oh God, excuse me, because clearly that was strangely intimate. And he's just like, are you okay? Who are those people? And she doesn't really answer him. She's just like, are you stargazing? He's like, yeah. She's like, even though they're not real.
She's like, those are fake, right?
And they don't really go into it, but I'm just sitting here going, what the fuck do you mean they're not real?
We get some undead unluck shit going on here.
What the fuck?
If I had a nickel for every time an anime was just like, hey, something's wrong with the stars, I'd have 2 nickels, which, et cetera, et cetera.
Fake sky. But yeah, she does. Does he? Yeah. He pulls her along for. Wait. What am I thinking?
Yeah, they start running again.
They start running again, but she ditches him eventually, doesn't she?
Yeah. Maybe she just goes off on her own then.
Yeah, she ditches him to run off on her own because there's another scene where she's in a different part of town and she's still being chased by the same cops.
Yeah.
I don't know how they picked up her trail again.
They could smell her.
She ducks into one of those really narrow alleyways that you see in Japanese towns to hide behind an air conditioning unit for a second. And a hand comes up behind her and clamps over her mouth, and he's just like, it's me, it's Jean, who's clearly another blonde Frenchman. Villainous French. And he's telling her about it. He's just like, hey, don't scream, it's me. It's just like, where's Louis? It's just like, Louis couldn't make it. Louis in hiding. And it's just like, oh well.
You're just gonna lie to her, huh?
It's just like, do you still have it? Do you have it on you? And she's just like, I wasn't supposed to show anybody but Louis, even a partner. And he just sort of gives up at that point. And he's just like, oh, well, time for the chloroform.
Yeah. Literally.
Here, breathe in this rag. But he gets knocked upside the head from behind with a piece of detritus, some sort of piece of wood or something. And who is it? But Chen. Chen's there again
Mm-hmm.
in some random narrow alley, and he was in there without her going past him.
Mm-hmm.
How is Shen in these places? Yeah.
That's what I said. He's got something going on.
But yeah, he knocks that guy upside the head, and he's just like another one. And he grabs her by the hand and he just starts pulling her along. She's like, come on, we gotta go. And she's shocked. And they end up running over a bridge, and they're sort of exhausted. Whenever she notices, I forget what she says. She identifies it as some sort of radiation, because it's coming from a pillar on the bridge, and Jean unfolds himself from the bricks.
Yeah, he just emerges.
Which is actually a pretty. I like this piece of animation.
Yeah, it was cool.
He goes from that to smoothly just knocking Shen over the side of the bridge.
Yep.
With a
And
punch.
he's got the chloroform again.
Yeah, and then he's dual wielding. He's got the rag in the other hand.
Yeah, he gets her.
But yeah, he knocks Shen over and seemingly into the path of a train, but I'm sure he just landed on top. And yeah, she gets got a second time with the chloroform, which is okay. I mean, knock me out once. And the screen and we go dark until she wakes up in a back room somewhere on a couch, one of those nefarious back room Japanese back rooms from like Yakuza or something. That's just a sort of a bare room with a coffee table and two leather couches, and you're just like, what do they do here?
This.
Other than, yeah.
This is for what is this for? This is the room for kidnappings.
Yep.
But yeah, and he's there, and there's a table laid out in front of him, and there's a couple other guys there. The black guy from earlier, in fact, is there, along with just sort of a generic white guy in a suit.
I don't think it's the same guy.
I thought it was the same guy.
I don't actually remember.
Because I just remembered that he's a black guy, and he had the same sort of wristbands.
I thought the first guy was really skinny, and this guy's like really built.
I wasn't paying enough attention, honestly.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, and he's sitting at the table. He's laying out these pebbles in this perfect grid, and he's talking about it. And he's just like, they're really beautiful when they're set up like this, huh? Even though I have no idea why I do this, it's just the price of my contract. He's like, oh, you're a contractor? Like she didn't know.
I was like, okay, yeah.
My man just came out of a brick wall. But and he's just like, yeah, Louis dead.
She's like, what? No, that can't be possible.
It's like, yeah.
Sorry, lady.
And yeah, it's real serious given that he was a powerful contractor as well. It's just like, oh shit, he was a contractor as well. It's just like, wow, you've really gotten the shit end of the stick.
She's like, wow, he didn't tell you anything, huh?
You have been used by the French.
The worst thing to have happened to you.
And he's just like, you know what? He's just like, I guess we can just do this the hard way. And she's just like, oh shit, because like clearly she thinks he's just gonna torture her. And she goes to leave, but there's a big electronic lock on this. It's with a lever knob on it. And she obviously she can't get through. And he's just like, oh come on, please. Like, And he says something really weird then, because he's just like, it's not like I don't have feelings. Like even us contractors can have a personality provided we're programmed with it. I'm just like, what the fuck do you mean?
And he says,
What does any of this mean?
quote, unlike a doll, which I don't really know what the difference between contractors and dolls are at this point.
Well, we learned something about that because they're clearly in contact with one, because there is a girl outside
Mm-hmm.
sitting with her feet in a pond.
Yes.
A lot of foot shots in this anime. But there's like movement, and the black gentleman is just like, hold on, I sense something. And there's like, what do you mean? This is like, was it an observation doll? And the other guy's just like, come on, what the fuck are you talking about? It's just like, well, only contractors should be able to see. Esoteric fucking conversation. And just then the power goes out for a second, and boom, she's out. There's a failure in the electronic lock, and like there's a little bit of electricity short out too. And she comes out and just books it.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually she runs into Shen again. And it's raining, and his shirt is out and everything. And she just seems so happy to see him. I'm just like, this man is like engineering this shit.
Yeah, no, he was definitely the one that opened the lock, right?
Yeah, he opened the lock. He was in all of these places to begin with. Like he's also using you.
Yeah, that's
We just don't know what for yet. And that's where it ends. It ends on a close up of him embracing her as she breaks down crying from the stress, and we just close in on his fucking dead, lifeless.
yeah. They zoom in on his eyes. No, I mean, I think I mean, this was the guy that killed the man from the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Obviously.
So like,
Couldn't be anyone else.
I don't really know that we know the motivations of whatever group he's working for, but you know.
Yeah, they haven't really gone into it. We should talk about the intro and outro as well. Intro got some serious 2000s butt rock vibes going on.
This show came out in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Mhm.
it was going to this was airing at the same time as Gurren Lagann.
Mm-hmm.
Fun
Whoa.
fact.
What a time to be alive.
So yeah, it's vintage. I will note that when it cut to the outro wasn't anything special, but I noticed some very natural incorporation of 3D models.
Mhm.
I didn't even catch that.
I believe the flowers themselves were 3D models.
Cool.
And I thought back to the scene with like the cars at the beginning, and I was just like, for a fucking 2000s Digipaint anime, they did really well with the 3D integration.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's almost seamless, which is impressive given that they can't fucking do that today.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that feat, this just sort of slid
Feet?
off me.
Feet.
I appreciate that it isn't an isekai.
Yeah.
It has that energy, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I really liked this one.
You know what? Parts of it looked like Pluto. Sorry, I just interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I mean, they have the big they've got sort of an uncanny city vibe going, which I think might be your associations with Pluto. Like
I meant the art style.
art style?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's just because they're not drawing every character like a traditional, anime boy. You know what I'm saying? Like they've got a bit of character diversity in here, which I always enjoy seeing.
I talked a lot of shit on Hei or Shen here, but I will give it to him that he appears to be an adult man rather than a 14-year-old boy like every other anime.
Yeah.
He looks grown.
He looks grown. I mean, he does look a little bit like plain-ish, but I don't really mind that. Like
Looks
I
like
don't
he was
think
made
he's
out
a
of
bad
Play-Doh.
character design.
So yeah, I don't know. This one just sort of slid off of my brain.
That might just not
Like
be a show for you.
I was having trouble like even remembering what the details of it just now. So I probably won't continue with it,
Fair enough.
despite the fact that it does. Like, listen, if you could tell me that it was mostly about the detectives investigating these cases, I would be more interested. But
No, it's going to be about Hiei.
yeah, it's gonna be about hey,
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 what do you guys think?
I don't think it's even
I'm
Hiei. I think it's Hei.
I don't know. Like, I don't think it's bad, but I have like approximate knowledge of this show from
Mhm.
like what was this, like 2007, when I
Yeah.
was in like fucking middle school. Like, I remember the opening of the song when it came out because it's by the same guy who does the first opening to Soul Eater.
hmm
So like I don't know if I needed like a nostalgia trip or something, maybe, because like this totally gives like I mean it's like a perfect like time capsule of what is 2000s edge.
Yeah, it's sort of mid 2000s, somewhat edgy anime, and I feel like that's what makes it sort of up my alley. I love a show that is about characters that are sort of either on the run or like criminals or kind of evil.
Crime.
I just love a stanky little guy sometimes, and I feel like I do want to watch more of this. It is like longer than this was when they were making those 24, 25 episoders. So this is a 25 episode anime. So it's going to be a little more of a time commitment than say
Than
one that
normal.
JoJo can only dream of crime and ruin.
I need characters to be on the run. You understand me. No, you
Blackle,
don't.
what do you think?
I thought it had some interesting parts. I definitely think I definitely agree with the quorum about how it should be about the detective lady. And I definitely liked the SCP elements, but I think that it kind of had a couple of those sort of anime bad habits, like voiceover narration, when it's not really warranted for that moment.
Now, to be fair, I think that they did a lot better job, sort of not over-explaining than a lot of shows do.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, but also, like, I don't think that they did too terrible with, like, we're not gonna, like, here's a 5-minute ramble about what's happening in this world. We're gonna sort of drop, like, little tidbits here and there, and you kind of have to piece it together.
I was a little bit.
And that's really why I'm not
infuriated with
saying that it's the worst garbage I've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
that it's like of the habits that it has, it doesn't like. It's not that heinous in doing things that I don't think are healthy for a first episode to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I liked the noir elements a bit. It almost feels like a noir like show, like smushed up with a shonen anime.
Yeah,
It feels like they took a shonen anime and like a noir story like Pluto and then slammed them together.
Are you suggesting they did a Philip Marlowe but they put Sasuke in it?
Yeah, they did do that. That's what I think is what happened.
He is a Sasuke like, isn't he?
That should be the name of the fucking episode. Philip Marlowe was Sasuke. Or whatever the fuck his name is.
The Maltese Sasuke?
Yeah, there we
the
go.
Maltese Falcon featuring Sasuke.
It's featuring Sasuke Uchiha from the Naruto series.
Wow. I need everyone to also know that one of the main characters is going to be a cat, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, we've seen the cat. The cat assaulted
the
goons earlier.
The cat is the third character down on my anime list. That is all I'm saying.
Returns.
The cat returns, baby.
Anyway, if you'd like to pitch us more classic film noir detective stories featuring your favorite weeaboo shit, you can do that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one word, not the number. We are on Twitter and Blue Sky at OneEpisodeCast. Send us... talk to us about your favorite anime cats. I need to do
Please
this.
do.
You want to see Nanami Jujutsu Kaisen trading barbs with fucking Sydney Greenstreet? They're trying to find, I don't know, the gold or some shit. Dames walking into people's offices.
Uh-huh.
Somebody say something.
Listen.
There's
I have
nothing to
more
say.
We gotta get out of here. I'm
You're
thinking
leaving me
about
out here
cats.
to die like this, aren't you? I always
I
knew
am,
it would
yeah.
come to this. You
Uh-huh.
fucking bastards.